Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, Christine. Welcome again. Once again, we're here. It's Monday, and we're here again at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. No times have shifted across the world, but always need to shift our times. I live for the day when that will stop happening. I thought last year they said it was going to be the last, but it's still going on. So we work with whatever it is. The thing with me, if I have something to do at a certain time, I usually Google to see what is that time in my country, so I know what time to get on. Even on welcome to we have a visitor online, a subscriber. Welcome, and even to I just wanted to stop because I think it doesn't make sense for me and a lot of people even in the countries where they shift that time. So it is what it is. So I want to welcome you while we're gonna get started while we wait on our special guest today. We have a special guest today. So while we wait on her to come in, let's do the intro and introduce ourselves and get started. And when she pops in, we'll be ready for her. Okay?
How adorable! Oh my gosh, that
Yes.
was so cool.
Yes. So now I will welcome in a second person who's in here. And you're all welcome to make your comments and stuff. Let me just get the comment section here so you can see when you all comment. Right. So feel free to make your comments and thank you all for coming in. I want to welcome the persons who subscribe to this channel. It's a young budding channel. And that YouTube works by subscribers. I welcome all subscribers to this channel. All those who come in after and listen and don't hit the subscribe button, please go and see the views. So when you view, please subscribe and please like. That's the algorithm that YouTube works on. So I want to welcome two visitors to us today. We're so happy to have you here. We have Christine here with me today. We're going to be joined by Wendy shortly. She's having a little bit of a technical difficulty and she's sorting her stuff out. So whenever she hops in, we'll be right here. So I am Cheryl Diane. I'm an international keynote speaker. I'm a trainer. I'm an author. I'm an image consultant. I wear many, many hats. And Christine is my friend. And when I decided to do this YouTube channel, I was looking for another sister to just come on here with me on a Monday and have conversation. Because talking to the camera by itself is no fun, really. Why don't we have conversations that will help empower women and help lift us all up? Because we all need to continue to learn and grow and help each other up. And Christine put her hand up and said, I will do it with you. So she's been here with me most Mondays, except when we have technical difficulties, because we know what life is like. Sometimes we have technical issues. And today when I saw the weather, I thought to myself, oh my God, let's pray. God, please allow us to have a good stream today. So here we are, we're starting. So Christine, introduce yourself to those listeners and then we can start our conversation.
Well, hello, everyone. And yes, every week I am so privileged and honored to join Cheryl.
One sec. Wendy's here. Hold a second. Let me let Wendy in. She's here. Wow.
All righty then.
Oh, Wendy, welcome.
Hi. It has been another challenge where I had to find the courage to try.
And you know what? Today you're going to tell us all about the courage that you have, right? So Christine was just about to introduce herself, and then I'll allow you to do that, and I'll read your bio, and then we'll just get going, get the party started, right? So Christine, continue with your introduction. Yes.
So every week, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be here with Cheryl, my dear friend. I mean, as we've shared before, we grew up in the same neighborhood, and so we have similar values. We were raised a similar way, and my background is initially in banking and finance and corporate communications. But over time and with circumstance, I made a big decision to become a wellness coach. I've been privileged also to Wendy, who you will hear from shortly, actually helped me on that journey. And so every week I'm here to talk about wellness, holistic wellness, mental wellness, and just being the best you that you can. So Take it away, Wendy.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I have to tell you, I am now doing this podcast on my phone because the great experiment to get it on my laptop did not work. so here I am, in a bit of disarray, but really glad to be here. And because it's on the phone, everybody's so small, I can't see you too well, but I hope you can see me. So
yes, we can.
Wonderful.
The YouTubers will see you. The YouTubers will see you. So let me. I'm Cheryl Wendy. We met before, but
Yes.
I know you meet many people all the time. So glad to meet you again. Make your acquaintance again.
A pleasure.
So I'm going to read you a short bio that Christine supplied me with, and then I just want you to talk to us about it, because this channel really was created to help women understand they need to have courage to do whatever they need to do. The dreams could come true, and the sky's the limit for all of us, right? Literally for you as right? So let me just read her bio. This is what I'm going to say about Wendy Yawching. Wendy Yawching is a name I've known forever. I've always known this name, right? Was the first female captain of Trinidad and Tobago's national airline, the first Trinidadian woman to hike the trail to Mount Everest base camp, and the first master feng shui consultant in TNT. The Courage to Fly, her first book, became an Amazon bestseller in 6 categories within 24 hours of online launch. Wow. She's available to any of you who listen to this cast today or afterwards for interviews, podcasts, motivational speaking engagements, and I've heard her, and she's really very good. You will be motivated, mentoring and counseling for motivational speaking engagements, motivation and counseling. I'll put her contact at the bottom when you're finished, so you can always go and get her. There's an email supplied here and a telephone contact, and I'll put all of this at the bottom of the description, so you can always go there and find Wendy whenever you want to speak to her. So Wendy, tell me something. Before I let you speak, I grew up with a friend who you may know. His name is Anthony Ruddy. He used to be an airline pilot, BB and Caribbean Airlines for many years. Retired, I think, 2 years ago. And as a little boy, we grew up in Danville together. He was the most annoying friend we had. So he flew airplanes, imaginary airplanes, over everybody's head and made these noises. And he kept saying he's going to be a pilot, he's going to be a pilot. So he had this dream. And we kept saying, oh my God, we call him Tunza back in the day. Tunza is so miserable. Why don't go home and stay home? But you know what? Now I look back at it, I so admire him, because he had that courage to dream. That kind of rich parents, they were not poor, but not rich, and he had that desire. He had to become an airline pilot, and he did it, and I'm one of his friends who's very, very proud of him, and I'm very proud of you as a woman being the foot, setting, some standards for us in Trinidad and Tobago, right? So when you tell me something, one question I have for you could talk about yourself, say anything you want to say about yourself. What gave you the courage to fly?
As you will read in my book, because I'm sure you're all going to get it, I wanted to be a pilot when I was about age 10. So it was not about courage. It was about following my heart. I just had this revelation, looking at the planes flying by in the sky, that all the other dreams I'd had so far were not important. I wanted to be a pilot. So after that, it was really finding the courage to follow my dream. Flying was never something that required courage. It was the courage to follow my dream and believe in myself. And because of the culture and the time that I was growing up in, that was very hard, because of course in Trinidad at that time, girls didn't do stuff like that. So the message from everyone in my circle, including my most beloved people, was that you'll grow out of it. You'll grow out of it. Girls don't do those things. Don't worry. You'll come out of high school, you'll marry a nice man, have kids, and you'll be fine. You'll be happy. And so I was an anomaly in my culture, in my country, in my culture at that time. And in fact, it was so pervasive. The message was so pervasive that I have to tell you, during my high school years, I more or less forgot about my dream. I didn't forget it, but I gave up on it. And I tucked in to do all the right things, quote unquote, right. And it was not until I left Trinidad at age 20 something and we
lost a little bit.
Yes,
Again.
Yes.
She'll come right back on, Luke. She'll pop right back on in a minute. Yes. Oh, here she is again.
Yeah, sorry. That is one of the problems of working on your phone for the podcast, because somebody just called and knocked us off. Yes. So it wasn't until I went abroad and realized and was in a country where girls were much more free to do what they wanted that I realized, hey, all that I thought was the boxes around of my world. That
Somebody's probably calling her again.
Yes.
Yes. That's live, you all. Live stream.
That's
Things
live
happen.
streaming.
That's
Things
live.
happen.
Right. Probably has to go. Right.
I'm
There
so
you
sorry.
are. Good.
Yeah.
That's
So
okay. That's okay.
you realize that none of them were valid boxes, and I began to doubt the status quo that I'd grown up with, and began to realize then that I could try to do what I'd always wanted to do in my heart. But there were this many years of believing that everybody must be right because I am the only one who's saying saying what I'm saying, and so I started my journey to become a pilot at quite a mature age, because pilots usually start much younger. And it was because all those years I was lost to the stories that I was told as a child. So one of the reasons why I wrote this book is to make sure that people know you don't listen to the stories you're told, listen to the story of your heart. Follow it with faith, follow it with energy, put your attention to it. Work hard, but follow your own personal heart. You have a gift, you're here to use that gift, use it. I wasted many years listening to as I say, the stories that I was fed by all the people in my world. And even though that was a generation or 3 or 4 ago, it's happening now to our women and our girls, even so, just in a different framework. And so my book is written to motivate and inspire women to listen to your heart, follow your dreams. And you know what? Even if you're doing something as extremely different from what I did all those years ago, there are still things that are considered extremely different. Believe in yourself. Tuck into your faith and work hard and believe in yourself. Never be swayed by what the world is telling you. Follow the instincts of your heart, because those wishes come from the divine, as far as I'm concerned. And that is my message. That is why I finally wrote this book. I would not have spent so many years following other directions had I had this message then. And perhaps my book can give women the message exactly when they need it, whether they need it when they're in high school, whether they need it in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, when they're facing change or challenge or doubts or fears. The message is follow your heart. Go ahead.
You know, this is amazing, this conversation. And I believe in divine setups as well, right? So Christine messaged me and said, how about if we invite Wendy in to come and talk about her book and talk about it? That's fine, no problem, whatever it is, whatever. Because last week, the conversation was about dreaming, allowing yourself to dream, which Christine and I plan to continue this week, right? To allow yourself to dream. And there you are talking about dreaming, that dream. Yes. You know, like my friend, like Tunza. That was his dream, you know. As children, we didn't understand. He was just annoying, loud little boy, flying planes over your head. But in his mind, that was his dream. And he manifested his dream, you know. I believe that God gives us our heart's desire. You know, if faith without works is dead. I don't know if anybody, that's my belief. And I so resonate with what you said here today. This is so encouraging, you know. So tell us a little bit more. I want to know so much more about you. I just want to know about that. I want the listeners to know about you. And perhaps I want to invite you to read something, an excerpt from your book. They're going to leave us hanging, right? Because we're all going to go and get that book.
Of course. Yeah. So I would like your audience to understand that my book has definitely my story in it, because my story is an exciting one. I've had a wonderful life. But the message of my book is not for people to want to fly airplanes. It's for them to find their own wings, whatever it is that makes them fly. So it is about the courage to fly. Is a much bigger word than you know, applying it to an airport, an airplane, and a pilot. That picture of me on the front cover on the, you know, the cap, that was my dream. And I achieved it, and therefore that picture. But it could as easily be what you want to be a ballet dancer, and the picture could have been a ballet dancer. It's your dream. What is your dream? What gives you wings? What makes your heart sing? And it is a book about overcoming obstacles of any kind. And I had many to achieve that dream. So having introduced it like that, I'll say that many people look at me or look at my life when I was flying, because I'm retired now, and they saw the successful, confident, elegantly attired in the pilot's uniform person, and they say, oh my goodness, she's so lucky, she's a pilot. And you know what? Yes, I'm lucky. But I made my luck. I worked for my luck. I believed my luck. I believed my luck. I did everything that brought me to that place. And in between, there were many mountains and obstacles and pitfalls and valleys. And each one of them could have stopped me if I did not return to that dream. And each time when I fell, I get up and start walking again. And it was not always easy. And very often I did not have any support except my faith. And each time I overcame and I went on to the next mountain, because there's always something that will, life goes like this. That's life. You have to actually enjoy the mountains and the valleys and know that they're all there to teach you something. And so, yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot because I've been through a lot. It was not, oh my goodness, she was born and she succeeded. No, there's this big journey in between that makes us who we are. And that is what the book is about. You are special. You have a journey and you have a story and you have a dream. Walk it. Walk that walk. Sorry.
You're making my pause raise because yes.
I'm giving you good.
Go ahead when you're saying something. Go ahead, Christine.
I was saying maybe I'm being too passionate about this, but I believe this passion.
No. We are on the same page. Let me tell you, that passion is coming through the thing straight to me. Hopefully, to listeners and subscribers, this is a really good encouragement for all of us. Because these are things we need to hear every single day. There's so much negativity all around the world. And there's so many naysayers, right? You see how you talk about how you fell down and you got back up? I want people to understand that falling down is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. The bad thing is when you don't get back up, right?
That's falling.
Right.
Bad when you give up. And you could give up because you ran into obstacles that seemed too hard for you at the time. You could give up because you listened to other people. You could give up for all kinds of reasons. But the important thing is not to give up, to keep walking. Even when you can't see your steps more than 4 steps ahead or 3 steps ahead, take the next step. Because each time you take a step, and I learned this actually once. I learned this when I was quite young. I was 30 and I was doing a survival course in Canada. And I was climbing rocks. And I had never climbed rocks before. I mean, vertical cliff. And we had ropes and all that. It was safe, but you don't feel safe because you're first time on the edge of a cliff, right? And people, encouraging you, etc. And I remember at one moment, I was stuck on the face of this rock. I was spread eagle on the face of this rock. And I could not find a place to move up, down. I wanted to go up. My people were down. I'm stuck in the middle of this 100-foot rock face. And I didn't know what to do. It was one of those moments you will have in your life when you don't know what to do, you're stuck. And you don't think you have the skill by yourself to do it. And then a little voice inside of me said, so you can't go up, you can't go down, move sideways. So I moved sideways about 6 inches, and there was a whole bunch of footholds and handholds waiting for me over there. And I think that was a perfect metaphor for what happens to us in our lives. And moving sideways, you might find the extra helping hand or the extra foothold or the grace of God. So move sideways, don't give up.
Wow.
More goosebumps.
Yes.
Christine.
More goosebumps because, Wendy, you're talking. I am looking at my palsy walls here. Cheryl literally lighting up like a Christmas tree. And I know that's what Wendy, I'm getting goosebumps as well because, I'm making notes and I'm saying obstacles, the power of failing forward, continuing to get up. When you're stuck, who's in your circle? Who are your people? And the power of trust, trusting God, trusting that whatever's in your heart is the right thing. So Wendy, please bless us with a reading because I've read the book already, guys. I've read the book already. And I tell you, I read it.
She's showing off. She's showing off now, but I'll read mine soon, okay? She's showing off. Okay.
No, I'm not showing off. I have to tell you, I read it. And there were parts, and I told Wendy this already. I said, Wendy, there was a part where I cried. I underlined, I put hearts, just so that I will not forget what really resonated so deeply with me. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a woman, this is going to really hit home. But this is also powerful for men as well, because so often our men may have their own doubts and their own fears, and they have never been allowed to voice those fears. It's like when people tell little boys, but boys don't cry, So this book works well and is so very empowering for women and men too. But I know for those women who jump on and get this book, you are going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be like, oh my God, did that really happen? And it really is going to surprise you. And when Wendy talks about those valleys, Cheryl, we've talked about the valleys in our lives before, right? The valleys, actually, when you're in that valley position, what do? We look to the hills. We look up. We look up. From whence comes our help, Cheryl? We look up. So take it away, Wendy.
Well, Christine, I'm going to ask you to choose the chapter.
All righty then.
All right.
I want you to read from, it's you know it better than I. It's the 134,000 feet, the silky night,
okay,
the beautiful night. That one, because I'll tell you, everyone, when I was 16 years old, I was still at school. I was considering doing my A-levels here in Trinidad and Tobago, but I always wanted to fly. I always wanted to be a flight attendant. And that's a whole other story when I tell you that I was told that I was not in my father's house going to be a maid in the sky. It devastated me. And I told Wendy this just the other day and said, and now no matter where, anytime I'm flying, I'm one of the first people to get up, walk up and down the aisles, go make friends with the flight attendants, old talk, have conversation down in the back after they've completed their service. And it's because that desire to be almost that camaraderie is something that I longed for. So Wendy, you take it away, my darling.
Christine, I have to say that you are right where you're supposed to be. There was another mission in your life, and here we are. And we value you exactly where you are. All right, so Christine chose a chapter that is also my favorite, but it tends to make me cry. So I'm letting you know in advance. I hope it makes you cry as well. And that's just because of the feeling of it. So I'd like Cheryl, you, Christine, and anybody watching this to do me the honor of closing your eyes and just listening to my voice so you really feel what I'm sharing with you. This is the source of my passion for this book. So it's actually the prologue, and it's called Do Come True. It's 3 a.m. I am wide awake at 33,000 feet, suspended in velvet blackness, looking down at the sleeping world below. Around me are the quiet noises of a big jet airplane at cruise. Multicolored lights, suddenly dimmed, the gentle tremble of a metal giant powering through the night sky. We are about to cross the eastern seaboard in an almost straight line to the Caribbean at home. To my right, the first officer quietly traffic control, logging our progress through the skies. Straight ahead, we see the flash and fire of a distant thunderstorm. We'll need to ask for a deviation around that one. To my left, I catch my reflection superimposed upon the skies. I gaze beyond and down, sparkling city below, jewels in the blackness, and then the shimmer of the moonlit sea. I catch my breath because it's all so different beautiful, so ethereal, that I feel this is as close to heaven as I can be and still be alive. In fact, and here's something I couldn't tell anyone while I was actively flying, but I can admit now that I am retired, sometimes I felt as though I could happily die right there at 33,000 feet in the middle of the night, because I was in heaven already. My heart, my soul, love these magical night flights. My body, not at all. By the time I fall into my own bed, the sun will have been up for 3 hours. I will have been awake for 16, at least 10 hours, performing my duties as captain, staying alert, focused, responsive and responsible through the night, while 150 passengers sleep, knowing whatever happens along the way, all eyes look to me to save the situation. The buck stops here in the left seat. This job can be exhausting. It takes a huge physical and mental toll, and adjusting to the constant disturbed circadian rhythms is hard for me, and yet I would not trade this for anything. I love being a captain. I love that my office is the sky. I love going to work, strapping into a big jet and roaring off into the heavens. I love the beauty of this wonderful planet and that I get to see it from a whole new perspective. I love the challenges inherent in this job every single day. I love knowing that I have been trained to meet those challenges, that I have the skill and expertise to handle most of them, and the faith to believe that God will handle the one I can't. I love the people who work with me as a team to make each flight the best one possible. Sometimes I feel as though I'm the conductor of a talented, well-trained orchestra, each of us working in harmony to make the beautiful music of a perfect flight. To be part of this experience is a privilege. I'm constantly amazed that I'm here, right here, living my dream. You see, this is the life I dreamed of as a 10-year-old Trinidadian girl when no one believed me. The journey here was long, full of hard work and sacrifice, and some good fortune. And now those same people believe in me and so proud of me. I am their Captain Wendy, the first female captain of WIA International and later Caribbean Airlines. How did I ever get here, I wonder? I wonder this even as I look around the cockpit and thrill to the magic that runs through me still after all these years. It's a long story, and I am about to share some of it with you. Before I do, I ask that you give me your imagination, your trust, because I will be sharing with you, no holds barred. So the first step in our journey together, I to remember these words, write them. Dreams come true. Open your eyes.
You made me cry all over again, Wendy.
I'm getting better.
Wow. Wow.
I'd have napkins, but now I can read it with just one tears dripping. So I'm getting better. Cheryl, that was your first time hearing it.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was.
Did you? How did it feel?
Very, very. I mean, I don't know how to describe what I felt, except like kind of overawed by the whole that experience. That it was wow.
Cheryl, the passion you felt when I read it is inherent in every word of the book. The topics, the journey that I made, things that I put into the book that have nothing to do with flying, but always to do with courage. The passion is there. And my feeling, in every chapter, there's a message for the reader. And my feeling is that if the reader feels what I went through, and everybody says to me, oh, I felt like I was there experiencing it, and oh, you resonated with my life. Once I can connect with people the way I connected with you today, hopefully they'll hear the message of the chapter, and the message will be what they use to change their own life. I want this book to reach every person. I used to say, well, the men needed to. Every single person find the courage to fly in their own lives from whatever state or place they are currently in. It's different for everyone. And that's why this book is for people who need it. I can't chance with you because you are one of my angels to spread this message.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, you know, and this is what women need today. That type of encouragement today. That is what we all need today. I don't know how often you talk to women, but whenever I talk, there's always, you know, especially because we have social media, and people say, you know, all these people, all the negative talks and you know, different things that they say to others, you know, all these things that they throw at each other about beauty and about this and about everything else, you know, and now money is the only thing that means something. That's what a beautiful story. A story. I hope, my prayer is that story is told all across the world. This is how we flew that airplane all over the world. My prayer is that story is told all across the world. Because I have attended many conferences and I've spoken at a few conferences. And I'll tell you something. Your story, I think I have not heard one like that as yet. I've heard good ones. No, I've had good. There have been really good ones, but your story, because there's an element to it that's a little bit different. Because a lot of these stories that are told on these stages are about, you know, I mean, negative things that happen in their life, but your courage to stand up and look. There's somebody pounding something next door. They're always building something. They hope, whatever. Anyway, this is life. That thing that you spoke about, you know, going from what you feel in your heart and what you feel is divinely given to you as a gift.
Yes.
That there, I think, is important.
Huge.
That is important.
My intention, my mission has how my in this
Getting feedback.
okay. My full in my mission for this period of my life is to get this book to the people in the world who need it. My primary in the world who need it. Because I was a woman of the world who did it and then me at that time.
Yes.
So I am following all the pathways that open to me by the divine intervention to share the message to the people who can spread the message, because I can't do it by myself. And I want this book to be for the people who need it.
Yeah.
That's my mission. And
that's my prayer, that everything that really gets to every, you know, it needs to be, yes. Yes.
And Christine might can also vouch for something that I offered for years, but now it dovetails beautifully with the book, is that I am the facilitator of a wonderful vision board, energy vision board training. People find dreams, start to what's making it come true. So that becomes a natural partner. Wouldn't you say, Christine? For this.
Absolutely, because Wendy, can you hear me? Yeah, because Wendy helped me as well last year when I was in a point of transition, wondering where I was going next. I was doing all of these programs, training, you know, courses, and I was saying, well, what is it I really want to do? And then we had done a timeline, and my timeline showed that I had been caring for people all of my life since I was very little. You know, I was daddy's little girl serving. I was always serving people. And so making that decision to become a wellness coach was something that I shared with Wendy, did her vision board retreat over 3 days, and started to see, because it gives you real focus, and started to see the doors open to allow me to achieve my goals. So I've stepped through the door and just taking those steps. And ladies, if you're listening here today, just let me let you know, it just takes a decision, finding the kind of help that is empathetic, someone who can hold your hand and take you on that journey, like Wendy. And she's a very loving facilitator. and allowing you to release some or not, if not all of the negative things that have held you back in the past, and allowing you to step through that door to really pursue your dreams. So absolutely, I can't wait to support you on the next Vision Board Retreat, Wendy, early next year.
But Christine was one of my stars as well, because Christine made it very clear in the process. It's called Beginnings, which is a very apt name. And Christine made it very clear by the end of that workshop exactly what she wanted in her life. She had one of the best vision boards I've ever seen. And within weeks, Christine was becoming it. And I was, Christine, you lived it, you walked it. You became a well-being coach immediately. It was almost like, okay, I'm a well-being coach on the vision board, and so she was, and that's what she's been doing ever since, amongst all the other things that she does.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
I have a question for Wendy. So, are you open to collaborate with other women to have like workshops and stuff that will include your whole thing?
Well, the collaboration is something I'm happy to explore. My answer to everything that helps people to find their dreams is yes. My answer is yes. So collaboration.
It's one of the things I like to do. Right. I like to do collaborations. I like to do workshops and conferences for women or empower them. And I just thought to myself, wow, that'd be a good addition to the next one I'll think of doing. Yes. So if you're open, I'm open, and you know.
Yeah. Let's do it.
My answer to the universe now is
this has been wonderful. Yes. This has been a wonderful conversation. I know that you're a busy lady, and I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming in here and spending this time with us. And this is a budding channel. It's not big yet. It's not like CNN yet, but it's going to get there. That's my thing. You know, it's not one of those big ones, but it's small. But I want to thank you for spending the time with us, for seeing the value in coming and doing this for us. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate what you've done here this afternoon. And I thank you. And you'll hear from me through Christina. Christina will be our liaison, our go-between, and you'll hear from me. Yes, she's excellent. Yes, I know Christina. Yes, she is, and she doesn't stop. Okay. Yes.
Hi, Christine. I'm not sure how to lead the session, but I'm going to figure it out. Okay.
you just. I think you could see a leave. You could see leave somewhere, and if you touch it, you will see leave, and then you could just pop out. Popped out?
Not yet, but I'm going to find
it. I can still see you. Are you seeing where you can leave?
Not yet.
This live thing is so funny, yeah? Yes. It's always just full of fun and jokes and everything else.
Of course.
If I can help her to remove from stream. Okay, just removed her from the stream.
Yes, so she's now removed from the stream, and I'm getting some feedback. Are you getting that feedback? Are you getting that feedback?
No, I'm not, but my neighbor is really just annoying me. I mean, they always, almost every day, have all these knocking and banging everywhere. I don't know. And they know I do lives and stuff. And she doesn't know my days or whatever it is, but still, every day. So were you hearing that pounding?
Yes.
Were you? Yes. So it's going to be on the live stream, people. It's live. It's not in my house. It's all the way up next door to the other house. And almost every day they're pounding and building something there. So, but they're nice neighbors.
Yes.
That was a really nice session. And
oh my gosh.
It's just so funny, but not funny. How God lines things up. So last week I sat here, you couldn't get on. And I was here and I rambled on. I rambled on by myself, talking about dreaming. Because there's so many people who give up on their dreams because of circumstances in their life, I was looking at a program on Netflix actually this week, and it's called Mind Your Manners. Everybody needs to look at it. Mind Your Manners. It's an Asian girl. I think she's Chinese because she's speaking out Chinese. She's an international etiquette coach. And I mean, she goes to people's homes. I mean, she does a whole thing with them, kind of like something like what I do with style, she does it with etiquette and includes everything in it. Somebody I'd love to get to know. But there was one particular young woman who she worked with. She was married, has 2 little girls, and she spent the last 10 years out of the workforce, just looking after her girls. But now they're at a certain stage in their life when they just seem to know one is 10 and one is 8. So they're coming on to their own and whatever it is. And she thinks it's time for her to get back out there. And it was so intriguing to see how the coach dealt with her in terms of that, living out her dream. You have your dreams. So you became a mom, because she's still young, she's 34, 35 years old. Her daughters are 10 and 8, so she got married young. So now that they are at a certain age, she's now find herself going back out there, find her way. And let me tell you something. That was even though I have always been out there, me, I've never stopped being out there. But the thing is, it was an inspiration to see a woman who could, segue her way back into life.
Working life.
Segue her life with her. But there are many, many of them who I meet. Many of them. Many of them who keep saying they don't know what to do. They can't find themselves. The children are now grown up and they're out of the house and they don't know what to do. And I kind of wonder about that. What did you want to do before you got married? What were your dreams before you had your first child or before you had your children? What were those dreams? And I think the world puts so much pressure on age. That's why I never like to talk about age. Because some people tend to think when they get to a certain age, okay, it's over. No, it's not over until the good Lord said it's over. As long as you're alive, I was listening to one of my TV favorite maids, Florence from the Jeffersons. Remember Florence Mulligan?
Yes, of course.
Very sassy. She's now 91 years old and still working.
Wow.
And she was asked, but you're 91. So she said, who says I'm 91? Very sassy still. She said, who says I'm 91? She said, I think they're wrong. I'm 30. So the host said, you're 30. She said, yes. She said, I took myself back to the age of 30 and I decided to vibrate right there because I like me at 30. Those are her words, And I said to myself, oh, that's a good one. I took myself back there and I decided to vibrate right there. And that's why I'm still working. So she's still living her dream, doing a sitcom, very funny, nice dress in her little suit. And then we had Dionne Warwick. Dionne Warwick is, if anybody's on Twitter, know Dionne Warwick has made herself known in the Twitterverse. She tweets all the time, all kind of sassy things, jokey things. I think it started with this guy who was, he's a rapper, and he's the son of one of Barack Obama's, I think he was the Attorney General. He's his son, Chance the Rapper. And she tweeted one day, so you're a rapper, your name is Chance. Why have you said Chance the Rapper? So we don't know you're a rapper? She challenged him on Twitter. And it was so funny. And he answered her back in oil. So they had a little back and forth sass. And then she became like the grammar of Twitter. Recently, I don't even know if Pete Davidson, this comedian guy who's dating all these pretty women, including Kim Kardashian. He good dating for this one. So he just broke up with somebody and he's dating some other pretty woman again, right? She tweets, I'll be dating Pete Davidson next. And had the whole Twitterverse and laughter. So you see, she's reinvented herself.
Correct. She's making herself relevant.
Yeah. And she's in the Twitterverse where people feel like, I don't want to even use the internet, please give me a break. Auntie Dionne is on Twitter and tweeting and making everybody fall off the chair with laughter. Because that's funny like hell, right? All these pretty young people, they keep saying they don't, and I think they kind of learn negative towards the guy, why he always get this pretty girl, but maybe he's a nice person. So he gets some of the most beautiful women in the world, right? Including people like Kate Beckinsale and all that. But they want to know why, what is about, when they're ready to talk you down. But I think he's not vibrating with them. He's like my girl Mulligans. Listen, she got herself back to 30 and she decided to vibrate right there. We need to find a place where we need to vibrate and decide who we want to be and who we are. So we finish raising children or we retire from our full-time job, because we now reach age of 60 or 65 whatever, and we finish that era of our work. Could we vibrate somewhere else and find something else to do? Could we become more relevant in something? If we have dreams, or I used to teach young girls, to do styling, to do something. Could we make ourselves relevant instead of sitting back and keep saying, you're missing your children, they've gone? Yeah, because like I wrote in my book, that God gave us children to raise to go on to their own life. They're not dollies or things. When they become adults, they have to live their own life. Unless a child has a mental challenge, well, then you have to look at that child and you don't want that. If a child is normal, why do you want to continue to hold on to this child? Why? Not saying don't love them, don't check in on them, but I love to see my sons living their own life. Honestly speaking, I love to see them living their own life. I don't want them hanging on to me still. No way. No way. Because my courage right now is to really fly and to do everything I want to do. Anything I want to do right now. That's my courage right now. That's where I want to be. To continue to speak to women, to do my trainings, to show up on YouTube every week and to do my thing, because I no longer have to be raising children. They have been raised. So I'll continue to dream, because it was always a dream of mine to be among people, to talk to people, and to be relevant in this world. Christine.
Absolutely.
You go ahead and you talk.
Well, the thing is, when we are as passionate as we are about the world, about life, about ourselves, about our families, we are excited to chat about it. And Earl Nightingale, who some may still remember his name, thought leader of many generations ago, said that success is a progressive realization of a worthwhile goal or dream. And while he used the word success, many have swapped out the word success for happiness. Happiness, how do you find, or some may say joy, how do you find that? By pursuing that worthy goal or dream, which is buried inside of us. Each of us, we have that something special, and it may be more than one thing. And so as we pursue it, as we fall, as we rise again, as we even transform, as we are doing it, we are learning more, we are becoming better, of the best versions of ourselves. There's a lot that's happening, not just with the action or the activity of getting there, but our whole selves, our wellness. Well, now, to be an airline captain, man, you've got to be as fit as, what? Okay? It is not easy. But it's also, and you heard Wendy talk about this, it's a mental resilience. It's the ability to stay sharp. And you'll find this out in the book, she had several iterations of flying. But she had to train again, get certified again. And that is another metaphor for the things that we want to do in our lives. Yes, we may have done X, Y, or Z in one chapter of our lives, but we can now learn something new, get excited, passionate, and that gives you a reason to get up in the mornings. It's that passion that I hear with you every day. Guys, we talk almost every day, okay? Almost every day. Cheryl is constantly doing something for her business, conceptualizing, fixing things, creating new concepts. And that is mental wellness. Mental wellness is taking care of yourself. Look at her. She's a beautiful lady. Right? So taking care of, exactly, hello, taking care of yourself. What gives you that energy every day to get up and look at yourself in the mirror? We've talked about this because, you know what? I love you. I love you. And we get a chance every day, not just to love ourselves, but to do things for other people. Again, mental wellness. Kindness is a commodity that you cannot begin to imagine what that does, not just for the person that you're giving something to. And I saw um, last night someone reached out to me for some help, and I was able to say, you know what, I'm gonna help that person. I will get something, they will get something. And even if I wasn't getting anything, I would be happy to help them. Why? Just because I can. Again, mental wellness. When you're giving to others, oh my goodness, it feels so good. So that's it really for me. I am so thrilled that we were able to get Wendy on this morning to talk about and just help us continue that conversation about daring to dream. Because
Allowing
if
ourselves
we
to
weren't
dream, yes.
dreaming, what would we be doing, Cheryl? Oh my goodness, I can't imagine. You know, so many, and much respect to all of my friends and others who talk about retiring. In my book, that's not happening. I have no intentions of retiring until the good Lord says, Christine, come home. No, no way. But I want to be able to do things to help more people, to have more fun, and really just to live life to the fullest. And each of us on this podcast today, on this channel today, each of us can find that thing that gives us the impetus to fly.
Yes, yes. You're so right. Let me tell you something. But even retirement, now I tell people retirement is not a bad word because depending on what your field of work, you may have to retire from that job, right? But retirement doesn't have to be given up on life and sitting in a rocking chair and just looking at the street when the day come and hoping somebody will come by and talk to you. Retirement could mean, okay, you retire from the job from the government or the bank or wherever it is, so they give you an age limit, fine. But you put things in place, and when you come out of that situation, there are things to keep in mind. Because it has shown, I think, I'm not speaking out of things, I think the science has shown a lot of people who suffer from, some of the dementia and different things like that, is lack of brain activity. Yeah? That's why they give them things like puzzles and word things to do so to challenge their brain. You know, I had a friend recently who told me, she said to me, "You give me the computer, boy." I'm like, "Why I give you the computer? What do you mean by that?" You're always doing things. I was seeing the things posted on LinkedIn and stuff. She doesn't use the computer. She didn't even know how to set up a LinkedIn account. And this is somebody who taught at convent. She's a retired teacher from convent. But you see, they do the academics in one way, but they'll challenge us in other areas, right? And I said to her, I said, no, I said, if you're gonna hang around me, honey, you need to learn to do some of these things. Because a lot of my things are self-taught. I get there and I challenge myself to get things done. Right? You have to. You challenge your brain every day. Because what's gonna happen if you leave something in one place for too long? What happens? It begins to deteriorate, right? If you don't use your brain, what's gonna happen? So I go out. You find I'm out. Sometimes I'm out talking to people. I want to plan another workshop. I want to do things for others. And what I have brought myself to the realization that sometimes those who you give to, where you give, might not necessarily be the place you'll get a reward from. So giving should be free. Give from your heart. Because the reward will come back. May not be from that specific place or person, but the reward will come back to you. Because I think God gave us, another thing, God gave us that example, but He gave His Son for us, right? So we know the principle of giving is a good thing. So when we give of ourselves, we give about what we have, whether it's just be a kind word, whether it's just be something we say here on this YouTube channel on a Monday that will resonate with somebody. I would say, oh, I heard that and that made me feel, because it happens. I have had simple conversations with people already, and then they met me up and say, you know what? When I saw you last time, you said this to me. I went home and I took it, I said to myself, wow. And I didn't think I was saying anything special. So you never know when you're going to impact somebody in a positive way. You never know. You don't know. So the thing is, giving should come from the heart. We should never give with the expectation of getting back something in return from that person. Because that reward may come from a totally different place. It may not necessarily come from there. So I would say let us continue. Let us continue to dream. And dreaming is not like I said last week. I was rambling on by myself, but Christine can get on. Our stream wasn't working. Dreaming doesn't have to be, we grew up thinking that dreaming is a bad thing. You're always dreaming. You're always in the air. But a dream could be something, it could be a plan. It could be something you aspire to do or be. Yes. A place you aspire to go, to travel to. A craft you aspire to learn. Get yourself involved in technology. Let me tell you something. Too many of women I know of cannot handle technology. Technology is a good thing. Stop saying they don't like Facebook and they don't like this and they don't like that. Because my Facebook page, there's no confusion on my Facebook page. I control my Facebook. All these things can be controlled. All of them. I tell people, all of these things have 3 little dots on the right-hand side. Yes. And if you go up there and snooze people, even your relatives, if they're posting annoying stuff, you could go there and you could snooze them. So you don't see, you don't unfriend them so they get to see what you post. But you don't get to see a thing that is not running in your stream. There's a way to control all of these things. Stop being afraid to step out there. Because this is where we get relevant. I met a friend who I hadn't seen in almost 40 years. He left Trinidad 40 years ago. And how did we reconnect? On a Facebook profile. My sister and I were talking about him one night, right? And she said, "Oh, what became of him?" And I was like, "I don't know, boy." And we said, "Let's go on Facebook." And I saw this person. I said, "That's him. I've seen great. That's him. That's him. That's him." Of course, he wasn't even on Facebook. Eh? Somebody did a profile and put it there. So I messaged, got no answer, and then finally, a couple of weeks after, I saw somebody, one of his friends in his friend list, posted something for some birthday, and I messaged and I said to her, "Well, you don't know me, but I'm trying to reach this person. And I'm a friend, tell him Cheryl Campbell, that's my maiden name, trying to reach him." She didn't respond to me, but what she did, they work at the same place. She went and told him, "Some lady messaged me, her name is Cheryl," and she tried, and he was like, "What? Really?" And he went and he checked it, and then he messaged me back. And because of me, he now knows how to use his phone, because he never used Messenger, he never did any call, he never used WhatsApp. He just had the phone to go ting-a-ling, hello, whatever, hang up. He learned to do all these things. His granddaughter showed them how to do it. And we were able to talk now on FaceTime. And our first FaceTime was so hilarious. The phone keeps dropping and I keep speaking somebody chair and I keep saying, "You have to hold the phone up, take it, prop it on something." No, he can do it. No, he can do it. And I feel like I'm a part of that. I feel so good about that. If it hadn't been for this social media thing, I would not have seen my friend who left Trinidad as a young, when he left, he was 20 years old, right? He left Trinidad, and his mother sent for him, his mother lived in Maryland, he still is there. And he just left, and because there was no email and internet time, and he just went and got himself involved in work and school and things, and just, thought, well, maybe, I knew them that time, whatever. He was so happy. Now he's connected back to my brother, who made him become a friend of our family. Because through my brother Brian, he came to our home. Met my sister, she's in Atlanta, and now everybody's back together again like when we were teenagers. You know what I mean? All through technology. How can I just like this? Right? I sent a link to someone who asked me about a resume. I haven't written a resume in 100 years, but I have a bio, and I do have my link tree. You want to find about me? Go to my link tree. I did that all by myself because I dare to dream. I want to do things. And in order to do things, people have to know about me and have to find me. That's why I'm here on YouTube. We have to continue to dream. A dream is not just, ooh, it could be that too. Because I was a big dreamer as a girl, like I always said, dream. I had a lot of dreams. It was about pretty things. I'd sit in a corner and just dream for hours. And that was just me. Right? And I'm still like that. Sometimes I spend my time dreaming. Because this is what I want to do. I want to empower women. I want to see women look in the mirror and say, "I am beautiful." Or do that Mary J. Blige song and say, "Good morning, gorgeous." Because we are all gorgeous. I want to hear somebody not saying, "Well, I'm not nice enough and I wouldn't look good in that, I don't have the figure for that. Or I don't have good hair." Listen, Listen, I don't want to hear that. So I want as many as my voice could reach across this world, as many people lives that I could impact, and as much as I could continue to learn as I live while God gave me the grace to be always to be breathing. I want to do that. I want to do that. So dreaming is a good thing.
Of course, dreaming is a good thing.
Dreaming is a good thing. I dreamt of this. I said, you know what? Aside a podcast, I'll continue my podcast. But you know what? I don't have the technology, the software to do visual, video podcasts. So I do the audio ones for those who want to listen. Right? And I have people listen as far as Kenya, because they give the analytics, right? As far as Kenya and Germany. 82% of my listenership came from out there. Would you believe it?
Yes.
This is the Trinidadians. And all of us people abroad who will listen to my podcast, listen to my voice, inspire, interviewing other women and talking to them on a daily basis and inspiring women to live a better life. Why would I? And I said, you know what, I need something else. Let me check out YouTube. And that's how I set up YouTube studios. We get to stream here once a week. It could grow to more than this, but we need subscribers, Christine. The algorithm in YouTube works with subscribers. So what I'm getting, every time I say subscribe to my YouTube channel on LinkedIn, I have all these people coming and wanting to sell me subscribers. This morning, I had about 4 of them. I want to work with you, I want to work with you, I want to work with you, I want to work with you. No, I don't want to cheat. I want people to like us, see the value in our content, and want to follow us. I want my subscribers to share it with their friends and family. I want them to want to listen to us. Because I just want to hear us talk about. That's what I want.
Absolutely. And we want to be able to literally reach our hands across the world and help other women. And let them know that in some way, shape, or form, we're so much more alike than we are different. We have all of our goals, our dreams, our passions. We have things that we still want to do with our lives. So if we can help you, no matter where in the world you are, if we can help you, that would be an amazing accomplishment. So that's really it. Yeah, it's pouring here as well, Cheryl. So, and I'm hearing some feedback.
That's a wrap for today. Today's fabulous. I will continue to share the link to my YouTube channel. So I don't want people to just listen to one video. I want you to subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll get to listen to all of our content. Be here at the family. This subscriber who stayed with us, somebody stayed with us to the end. I want to thank you so much for being there. It just helps to see that somebody is there listening.
Yes,
I want to
sure.
So those who are here, those who came in and left, those who remained to the end, those who will come in here afterwards, I want to thank you. We welcome you to this channel. Christine, I love to have you. So I'm going to do my outro. I love these things, Let me tell you, I take pride in designing these things. So let's
I know you do.
Okay, so see you all next time. Same channel.